Excellent question. I would say, first of all, don't see yourself as a minority, because you see yourself as a minority. So you already unconsciously but set your brain in a way that you already feel weaker. I don't know if I like, because if you feel you're a minority, then you don't have the right to do things.
Is there anything better than a trip getting ready? Nope. For a long journey where our podcast released a new app and searching for a fade fiend. New fixation. Giving this a subscribe is the same sensation. Started with the day ones. They gave us fuel to support the season. Could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here for a reason. Notification bells, text some friends, all to let you know. Check your Bluetooth, connect, talk your wisdom out.
Welcome in, everyone. This is episode 58, Die, Stereotype, Die. And our guest, YASMINA Passeri, MBOMBO, NJOYA. I may have got it right, I may have gotten it wrong. That's the first attempt outwardly.
Wow.
But YASMINA, welcome in this fine morning. How are you doing?
Oh, thank you so much, Nader. It's just such a pleasure to be with you today. Really, thank you so much. I'm great. The name was perfect. I'm just shocked because, no one can say MBOMBO NJOYA the right way.
Well,
For your first attempt, congratulations.
Yeah, I'm very excited now, and
Yes.
I'm oozing confidence.
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't.
So, I want to thank you for joining us. I wanted to get to some items for our listeners. You already can tell by the title, we were going to get into stereotypes. YASMINA, if you don't mind, could you tell us your background, how you and I connected, what your aim has been regarding stereotypes?
Sure. Thank you. So I think I'm so happy that our path just crossed, because I think there are so many things that we can talk about. And so just to tell you a little bit of who I am, I'm a senior project manager in the IT industry.
Yeah.
That's, would say, the foundation. But behind that, I'm French. I'm from Martinique and Cameroon. I was born in Paris. I lived 4 years in Italy, and now I'm living in London. So it's already, different origin, different culture, and therefore different stereotypes that I faced.
Yes.
And also, I'm very passionate about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And this is how we met, actually, because I'm doing a lot of posts on LinkedIn to share my experience, but also my point of view of things that I've lived and all situations I've been confronted of, whether it is personally or professionally. And I know that one of my posts really, I would say, touched you, and that's how you just reached out to me, and then we start to talk, and we've already seen that there are so many common points together between the both of us. So yeah, I'm so happy to be able to share all of this with you today.
Well, thanks. We're going to dive into that for our listeners. Let's tell them a little bit about who you are. You mentioned a couple things that I did not know. Okay. So, you're born in Paris, France. I'm gonna ask you, all babies born in Paris, France, do they get free Louis Vuitton luggage? Like, is that something you get?
No, not Louis Vuitton, Chanel, and Gucci.
Okay, I was off. Sorry, I went for the cheap stuff. Because I thought it had to be mass rationing to all the babies born. So I have visited. I visited Paris, France. I love it. Okay. I used to live in Germany for some years, so I used to drive to France pretty often. You guys being neighbors. I was born in Germany. I'm not supposed to get along with you, as my German counterparts have told me. Every time I say France, I'm supposed to go pooey. But
I love it.
I've lived in America for so long. I forgot that whole part. So I forgot that I'm supposed to hate you.
But you speak German.
I did. I actually was fluent when I came to America. Okay. My parents, unfortunately, did not speak it. They're red-blooded Americans, and if you don't use it, you'll lose it. My older sister, she she did very well with the language. And my little sister was fluent like myself. But once you get here to America, to where we came to, yeah, you're not using it, and it is out the window.
You're right.
Although I went back to Germany as an adult in the early 2000s, I lived there. I played semi-pro American football on a German team, and there were other Americans on the team, and I always remember that when the coach was talking, a lot of times I was really catching what he said, and they're used to repeating or saying, "Hey, you want me to translate that to English?" A lot of times I was like, "Oh, no, I got it." But yeah, a couple of the other Americans like, "Yeah, I don't know what's up with that guy. We definitely didn't get it." What'd you say? So now I push a lot of Russian. I do a lot of Russian speaking, and because I've dived so much into being fluent in Russian, I don't even attempt to practice. There's no space. I want to make sure I get as much Russian in. And I am ashamed to say, oh no, now my German friends are going to hear this. Thanks a lot, Yasmina. I just lost the entire country. I'm sorry. I don't even attempt German nowadays. But maybe for a couple more years, and then I'll cycle back because I'm getting really good German with my Russian. So yeah. But enough about me and that. I want to go into a few more stereotypes I think that people from France have. Is it true that growing up in France, or at least the first portion, do you have to kick a football all the way to school every day, to school, back in the rain and the snow, uphill through sand? Is that how you guys are born and walk around?
No, at all. I thought you would have talked to me about the baguette, not about football.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna get there. Yes. I was gonna get there. Not some baguette, but another baked good.
Croissant.
The next question is, from the good old country of the United States of America, if I keep saying croissant, are you going to correct me and say it with a more French appeal?
Yes.
Croissant?
I just said it. You didn't notice it. I just said it 2 seconds ago. I said croissant.
Oh. So yes. Well, then, bam. You hit that. You hit that one for me, then. Thank you. Thank you for that. There was a car that we had here in America called the American pronunciation Renault Alliance.
Renault. Not Renault.
That car it did not age well. Okay. It was not reliable. We don't want anything else from France.
All right. Thank you. Goodbye. Have a good day.
Yeah. Those are some things. I just wanted you to know.
It's great.
We were talking stereotypes. I live in stereotypes. Now I use it as humor in my podcasts, in my life, because those that are true, it's funny. It is funny to me. But we're going to get to a little more serious part of stereotypes. And then I want to know, of that time that you spent in Italy, were you automatically, upon entering the country, given a nice little cottage up in the Alps? Were you given that once you went to live in Italy?
I was in the south. I was in Sardinia. So it's the island. So it's like, yes. So there's no Alp there. It's like, it's totally, it's an island. So it's just great, actually, to be there. It's just sunny all the time. Diversity is, I would say, it's not really represented. There is not, except in summer, because in summer you have all the tourists. But apart from that, there's no.
Do you guys struggle with costs? Because now it sounds like you get some tourists. You're away from the mainland. Was it expensive to live there?
No, it was. I mean, Italy is less expensive, definitely, than, for instance, France or even London. Totally different. It's the cost of living is lower, right? It's definitely lower, but I would say the quality of life is definitely higher because it's this island, and you have beautiful weather, you have the beach, you have everything. So that's great. But if you say you want to build your career progression, it's not there. That's why I moved actually. I moved from Sardinia to London.
Oh,
Huge gap. You see, and totally. I mean, you know why? It's because I'm doing a lot of travels with my work, and the last thing that say, okay, now I can't anymore. It was in winter. I had to go to Paris for a business trip, and I did. So Cagliari, which is the capital of in Sardinia.
Yeah.
So to go to Paris, I did Cagliari. I speak Italian, by the way. Not German.
I like it. as a polylinguist, I like it. I like that you have mastered this. I master this and I master that. I'm working on it.
We are connected, that's why. So I had to go to Paris, and I did Cagliari, Varsovie, Paris.
Whoa.
I said, no way. So Cagliari, Paris is 2 hours and a half flight.
Okay.
I had to do 6 hours because I had to go, to the stop and then go back. And then there was a snow issue there. So we stayed in the airport for a long time. And then I said, no way, it's not possible. I can't do this anymore, especially because I'm doing a lot of back and forth between countries. Yeah. So that's why I said, well, I move. And then also because I've understood that actually, if I want to have more impact and for my career growth, Italy is not the right country, but London is more diverse, and especially you have more career opportunity, definitely in London. And since I'm in London, I'm doing all these posts, LinkedIn posts, and be more activist in all the diversity, equity, inclusion, and stereotype, unconscious bias, right? Since I'm doing this in London, it's just totally different. It's just a boom, right? So I just understood where to go.
I have a list of places that I want to retire. Italy is one of the tops. Val Gardena, Alpine Panorama Hotel Hubertus. I want to visit that. Excuse my pronunciation here. Terme di Saturnia, Tuscany, Italy. There are places that I have listed here. There are some islands. I have Cortina d'Ampezzo, Italy. Those are places that are on my list. So Italy is on my list, and then my good buddy has Sicilian roots, and he went over there to spend time with his family. He came back, and the things that he told me, so I gotta know. From all the places you've lived, visited, I know that you and I have talked with your parental lineage. You've been to some other countries. Where do you see yourself retiring at for that life where you're just going to go down to a cafe, have a croissant? I'm working on it. And then sip on a little cafe. Like where would you see yourself doing that at?
Look, it's a great question. Excellent question. I'm still thinking about it. I still don't know.
Okay.
Sardinia is definitely more maybe for, more retiring, I would say. Yeah, when I want to retire, I can say Sardinia can be one of the places that I may go. But I don't know at all. I really don't know because I feel, my heart is Italian.
Okay.
I'm French. And now London is also now a new welcome country for me.
Yes.
I don't know. I just don't know. So I will see with the flow, with what life tells me. Yes.
Just to allow again our listeners to get to know you, and this will be the last line of questioning. Living on that island.
Yes.
I feel that you're really good at beach volleyball. We play that a lot here in America. I'm a beach boy. I've lived on all of the coast here in America. I think that you rode a bike around the island. You probably didn't even drive a car. And lastly, what does a person do when they live on an island and maybe they have an allergy for shellfish or something? Those people have to move away. I know I've given you a lot there.
I love that one. It's great. I think you have sun allergy first. Sun. Because you know what? When it's summer and it goes to 40 degrees, you're going to laugh here. I've seen a lot of tourists come and people from Caucasian people, right? And they just take the sun. And the first week you see people red. But definitely, red. Because they took sun and they didn't protect their skin. They wanted to enjoy. They didn't have the allergy.
Yes.
They just enjoyed, and actually they were just really burnt. Sometimes people, burn in the, like very, very strong burning because they didn't protect themselves. So I can say burn is one of the first allergy we may have, and I would say you can. What you can do to fight against it, you put some sunscreen and just that's it. Just put some sunscreen.
Yes.
Allergy to. Sorry.
I was going to say, they need to take care of their body.
Exactly. Yes, but you know what it is, right? When a lot of people, when they're like too dark skinned, they want to be a little bit lighter. When you're like too light, you want to be darker. So you want therefore you want to stay in the sun, and you say you're going to tan, but actually tan doesn't mean burned, So it's again all this stuff, mixed together, and then we have this kind of confusion where we have people that are burnt. So if you have allergy to shellfish, selfish. No, not selfish. Not selfish.
Yeah, shellfish.
Shellfish. No, because shellfish is different. Shellfish. Excuse my French. Shellfish. It's so they like meat there, like a lot of meat.
Oh, okay.
And pork, especially pork.
Wow.
So you definitely, if you don't like shellfish, it's fine. You can still fight. I don't eat meat, so it's not for me. But yes, so you can still, there's still, kind of work around.
And then those two other parts. Did you drive a car when you were on the island?
Yeah, I had my car.
Did you ride a bike everywhere?
No, I had my car. So look at that. So from when I moved to London, I did with my car and my dog. And I took my car driving from Sardinia to Paris. So I did. So because I was in the south of Sardinia, and to take the boat, it's the ferry. I had to go north of Sardinia. So it's 3 hours drive. Whoa. 3 hours. Then I took the boat. I slept overnight, and I arrived in Toulon. So it's like the west part, let's say southern France, just to make it simpler, easier. Yeah. And then I drove 8 hours alone with my dog to Paris. Wow. So even my car is international, actually.
Yes, it is. That dog has more stamps in their passport than...
My dog is Italian. I speak to him in Italian. He's a rescue dog. He's Italian.
Oh.
He was with me of course, in Italy, in Sardinia, Paris, now London.
Oh.
Yes.
Good job, doggy. You're the international traveler. And then lastly,
tell me,
the beach volleyball stereotype. Do you have a jump serve?
I didn't do beach volleyball because I'm not. I'm not beach volleyball. No, I don't like. I mean, it's nice, but no, I was more hiking. I like hiking.
Oh, okay.
Because you have the woods there as well. It's very, very nice to see, and you have beautiful nature that you can see as well. And sometimes you see all the forest, and then at the very long side you see the sea. So you have the forest, and then the sea. It's so beautiful. It's beautiful. And I don't like to stay in the sun, by the way. So I'm the only one going with my kind of umbrella to protect from the sun. So beach volley is not for me, my dear. Sorry.
Okay. Yes. You didn't live up to my stereotypes. Very good. But I'm going to say for my American listeners, I think they may have had a few of those, or I just embarrassed all the Americans that'll be listening to this. And they'll say, "Oh, Donato, come on, man." So let's get to what caught my eye. When I reached out to you, I saw that you had a post, and it was called "Breaking the Stereotype: Women's Pain and Workplace Emotions." I was telling you that resonates with me because my wife entered a male-dominated profession. But could you kind of give us an overview of breaking the stereotype, women's pain, and workplace emotions? Where were you going with that?
Thank you again, because I didn't know that this post would have be guiding me to you. So that's great. Woman pain and in a workplace.
Yes.
We have this stereotype of, oh, you're gonna get if a woman is, let's say you are in a meeting and you get very emotional because of what the people's gonna say in this meeting, even if it's your client, and then you have a debriefing with your team. Most of the time, you will have, oh, it's too emotional. Maybe she has a cycle. She's the periods. Maybe she has the periods. Maybe she's just. She's stressed. She's nervous. She is too sensitive. Stereotype. A man, if you get the man will be very angry in a meeting for those reasons, the same reasons, actually the same reasons. The debriefing will be, oh yeah, you saw what this person said. Of course you will be like that. You will never hear you are too emotional for a man.
No.
Never. Doesn't exist. But for a woman, yes. For a woman, it's going to be hormones. For a woman, it's going to be periods, sorry. For a woman, it's going to be too sensitive.
Yes.
So, unfortunately, those are unconscious bias. So, unconsciously, people are formatting to associate with a woman all the emotion part, whereas with a man, it will be more, stronger, not white, but stronger behavior. It's the opposite, right?
Yes,
and therefore, even it shouldn't be like that. Men are emotional as well.
Quite.
Of course, and that's
quite
great.
Emotional.
And there's a woman that are definitely less emotional because the way they've been raised or the way they are. So that's what I meant by this post is, and I was talking about the pain. So how many times I've heard from men actually, or even women, well, I think it's because it's the wrong moment of the month. That's why she's like this. Or maybe she's getting pregnant. Or what's the point? There is no relationship with this. Do you say to a man when he's getting older, well, actually it's because you have too much testosterone? No.
Yes.
But because that's the reality. That's why men, you start to fall, the hair start to fall because it's the level of testosterone that is increasing. So do you say that to a man? No. Oh, a woman is going to be menopause.
Yes.
That's what I meant.
I jotted down a few things that bring me thoughts from what you were saying. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of boys' clubs. That's what it is. When it's male dominated, it turns into a boys' club. And now the girl comes to the boys' club, and the boys don't know how to allow her to come in and play properly, fairly. And so sometimes she's even pushed out and not even welcomed because they don't have a realization that, we're doing this and we definitely should not be doing this. We've always done it, but no, we should not be doing this. These type of jokes, these type of imaging that we use, some songs we listen to. That is one thing I thought. You were saying emotions. Men are definitely emotional. I've never been in a workplace where I've seen women fight. Not only have I seen men fight, I've seen men fights and then them almost come to the point where they're going to fight. Yeah. The majority are men. In fact, when I say majority, 100% have been guys. I've never seen it. I'm not saying it hasn't happened for the ladies, but come on, guys. Like that's what we do. And then lastly, the other thing I thought about was those guys have not been in enough environments with women leaders because they've always been in boys clubs. So now you have this lady who is going to be doing presentations. We're all doing presentations to the big boss, and they don't even know that, oh, I've never been in this environment before. This is all new to me, and I don't know how to deal with it. I don't know how to accept the differences and not fight them. Okay.
Yes.
So those are the things I think of, Yasmina. How often in this conversation have guys brought that to you? I'm giving you my perspective, but I thought I saw a couple of head nods. Would you agree that those are some of the scenarios
Definitely.
that you're referring to?
I totally agree. Yes, that's definitely the case. When you're talking about fights earlier, you've seen more men than women fighting.
Yes.
Especially in the army, I think.
Yes.
We don't have such fight in the industry.
Even at a couple Fortune 500 companies I've worked for, when I say fighting, I mean I'm going to push you. You're probably going to push me back. That kind.
Yes. Even it can even be without even touching. You know, it can have verbal fight. So yeah, definitely, that's true. So from a woman in leadership, which is my case, when you're a woman and you want to, and you have a high position, right? And you are dealing with, in my case, I'm only dealing with men.
Wow.
All the time. Yeah. Oh, and I'm used to it.
Sorry for you.
I can give you a story, right? So there was one day I was in a meeting, and there was again all men clients meeting. So I was with I had one colleague from mine, from my company, and then others were the client, really top senior leadership people. And each time I wanted to talk, each time I wasn't able to talk because they were just talking together. It was like as if I was like invisible. You know what I have to do? What I have to do? I said, "Excuse me, I'm already in minority here. I would like to speak." I said that. I think I would be able to talk for 3 hours because they all just shut their mouth and I was just afraid. Like, oh, what happened? Right? Because I checked them, right? I just checked the system. I checked them.
Yes.
And this is very rare. But why do we have the courage to say such a thing and to impose ourselves to be listened?
Yes.
It shouldn't be like that. Fortunately, it happened to me one time, but gosh, you're so true. I mean, unfortunately, it's a reality.
Yeah. What would you say to some of our listeners who don't have the confidence? They never see the moment to even speak up like you did. How would you help them? Because they're the minority.
Yes.
There's 12 guys in this room and only one woman.
Yes.
And in her mind, she's already talked herself out because she's like, well, you know, if I get too loud, if I speak up too much, then it's, you know, they're looking at me a certain way. What would you say to them to empower them to realize you gotta, I like your words, check the system.
Yes.
You're in that room for a reason. They need to hear from you. What would you say, Yasmina? How could you empower them to see themselves different to allow that to happen?
Excellent question. You know, I would say, first of all, don't see yourself as a minority. Because you see yourself as a minority, so you already unconsciously set your brain in a way that you already feel weaker. I don't know if I like, because if you feel you're a minority, then you don't have the right to do things. No.
Yes.
No. I told them I'm in a minority here to shake them and
Yeah.
to create something in their brain so they understand well, they realize what is going on, right?
Yes.
But I didn't consider myself as a minority, but because it's, again, I'm so used to that. For me, I don't see myself, I'm the only woman. Don't even think about if I am the only black woman. I don't see that anymore because I'm used to it. But if you feel yourself, and this is for all your listeners, is if you already see yourself as I am a minority, then maybe it can be for you a barrier that you put in front of yourself, and you shouldn't.
Yes.
You shouldn't. You should be yourself and actually put people in their place, which means by that, in your mind, a little trick that I'm using as well. In my mind, I'm seeing actually they're all breathing, they all need to eat, they all need to sleep.
Yes.
They all need to do all the natural things that every human are doing. So when I put that in my brain, actually, I just reposition the person to who it is, whatever the role. Because the role is given by a society, but this same person is, once finished the work, will be a husband, will be a father, will be, I don't know, another teacher because he's training a football club. You know, and so if we are just always thinking about the role of the person, then you put the person above yourself, where it shouldn't be the case.
Yes.
So you need to be yourself and to not be afraid of what a person can be in a role. Because, again, think about this person. This person will be a father. Or if it's not a father, maybe it's a widow. Maybe it's going to be, again, a teacher because, or, you know, all this it's the same person, but different roles.
Yes.
Why are you afraid? Because the same person, if you, let's say this person is going to be your son's or daughter's teacher at school, not at school, sorry, in a sport club. Why will you behave differently with this person because he's your manager, and the same person because he's going to be your son's or your child's teacher? Why should you behave differently? No. So that's why advice. To recap, be yourself. Don't see yourself as a minority, and position the people as who they are. They are human as yourself. Therefore, you shouldn't be afraid to speak up. Just be yourself. That's it.
That's why they brought you to the room. You've been seen. You're in that room because of who you are and what you can do. Don't forget that. Don't ooze that confidence. Don't lose the confidence now.
It's true.
You're adding a whole nother stereotype now. You're like, well, see, that person didn't belong. No.
It's so true. It's so true. It's so true. Forget sometimes that, if you're in the room, it's for your skills. But believe me, Donato, it's not the case. I mean, so many times I've seen, especially because as I'm managing digital transformation projects, right, with only big international companies with diverse teams, and believe me, so many times, and especially with men, I was in situation, and I faced situation where clearly it's not my skills, it's what I represent to people. Consciously, maybe I represent, I don't know, there's some racism which exists. We just need to accept. And it's not only colors, it can be gender, it can be, orientation. It's fine. It's part of it. It can be because you're a woman. It can be because, I don't know, they don't like what you represent to them. Or maybe because they're also afraid to see a woman in a leadership position. Right? Yes. And therefore, sometimes you can feel it as unfair because, well, it's your skills. You're not here because, I don't know, you've been promoted because you have red hair. No, because of your skill set, right? Yes. But sometimes it's difficult, to be honest. Sometimes it's difficult when you go in a meeting and you see people and you have to, and especially you have to explain to your colleagues that actually what happened here is not due to because I did something wrong or because I didn't, from factual point of view regarding to my work, but it's because I represent something else. You have to fight to explain your colleagues that this is what is happening. Please believe me. And men, most of the time, will say, no, you're too emotional. No, Oh, it's just your mind. Oh, you know what? Think about it tomorrow. Just relax. No, it doesn't exist. That's this kind of stuff. And I have another story for you, because I see you are thinking. It's like, I was in a meeting again, and I have this client. So it was a man. He was an Indian person, and each time, either one of my team members were two other women. Two of them were Indian. When they tried to speak, it was like very harsh with them. And when I was trying to speak myself, so this is like in different meetings, not only one meeting, right? Different meetings on weeks and months. I've noticed this. And until one time I was speaking, and when I speak to him, he was answering to my colleague who is a man. Like, imagine a situation. I'm speaking to you, I'm asking a question to you, you answer, you don't look at me, you look at my colleague, and you answer the question to my colleague.
Oh.
And oh my gosh, my head started to boil. I said, okay, now I need to do something. So I spoke with my two other team members, and I said, okay, how do you feel? Do you feel there is something special when you talk? And they started to tell me, you were not in a meeting. This person was so hard with me in front of everyone, didn't treat me well. And because in India, they are the caste.
Yes.
System. And where she told me that they had a discussion, and they understood that they're not the same caste. Like, this person behavior changed. And also, because the way he'd been raised, for whatever reason, I don't know his story, having a woman in a leadership position, right?
Yeah.
He's not used to it, and therefore it created conflicts. And I said when I spoke with my two colleagues differently, and they were saying the same thing as me, and even myself, I'm not Indian, I felt it. Like, if I ask you a question, you need to answer me. You need to look at my eyes, and we talk. Yes. Don't speak to my colleague. It's just no sense. I had to speak with my project director. I said, look, this is a situation. This is what is happening. What he told me is, I got the emotional.
Oh.
I got the, oh no, it just made up. It's not true. It's just, I said, look, this person is saying this other person is saying this, and this is what I'm telling you. And that's the truth. This is what you need. You need to deal with it. I'm escalating this to you because you're the project director. My team comes to me. Now I'm escalated to you. And that's the truth. And you know what I had to say? I had to tell him, it's like when you have a woman that has been raped. She goes to this police station, and she has to explain to the policeman that she's been raped, even if she has a short skirt.
Yes.
And it's because the person has a short skirt, the woman has a short skirt, that she can't be raped. When I said that, again, I checked his mind and system here again.
Yes.
And then he said, okay, all right, okay, no, I think it's a serious, okay, I get it, it's serious. Okay, let me deal with this. And he dealt with it. He spoke to the client. This person has been, let's say, quite checked in his company. And my project director, which, by the way, was from diversity as well.
Oh.
Yeah. He told me that he went to, there was a client meeting, and he saw this person. He said, look, if next time you step man to man, he said, if next time you get a different behavior to my team because they're women, we're going to talk together next time about eyes to eyes, and we're going to solve that together.
Yeah.
Behavior changed.
I like that. A lot of people would keep it to themselves. And I think that silence allows the behavior to be excused.
Exactly.
I like what you said. Shock the system. You make me want to rename this podcast. But that's exactly what it is. Is because you and I talked off air before we started recording, and and you were saying that there's unconscious bias, and sometimes people don't understand what they're doing.
Exactly.
And you need to speak up to allow them the opportunity to fix, to correct, to change, if you will.
Exactly.
But your lack of a voice pretty much just allows it to happen to the next person. And if they do nothing, the next person and the next person.
Any person, exactly.
And quite often, that person who's, if it's just one person, they're gonna elevate. They'll elevate in the company, which means now they can do this to more people, or just have a blind eye to things that they could have changed a long time ago when they're in charge.
Exactly.
All because we may not speak up at that moment.
Exactly. I mean, I totally agree with you, but you need to have the courage again. That's why I'm also a speaker. So different times I've worked, I try to share my experience with people, because, and the post and women in tech and stuff, because I want to speak up for people that don't want to speak or are afraid to speak.
Yes.
But you need to have the courage to do that, right? It's again, like you asked me what kind of advice I can give to your listeners. It's be who you are and don't be afraid of saying what you think, as long as it's always respectful and said in the right appropriate way, right? Because it's also the same. If you are talking in a too emotional way, people, because you have already this unconscious bias, people will unconsciously give less importance of what you are doing, or what you are saying.
Yes.
But if they see that you know what you're talking about, you are calm, and you try to be very factual, then you catch the attention, and this is where you can calmly shake the system. Because if I talk to you, oh, no, that's the way it is. Oh yeah, I'm hungry. I don't understand what the people saying always to the woman. They're too emotional. Blah 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 blah. I mean, it's, even for listeners, like whoa, what is going on here? What is, it's like. But if I talk to you, okay, this is what is happening. This is the way how I dealt with it. This is the way I see people and how I think people should. I don't say they should follow what I'm saying, but maybe it can be food for their thoughts.
Yeah.
And they can adjust their behavior. Then you can it's easier for people to understand and to start thinking. Thinking is change.
Yeah.
It's the beginning of the change. So, yeah.
As I apply this conversation to my life, I know that there are some people that they're not in that room. They're not on your level, Yasmina. What if they're below you? There are introductory or initial job participants. They're low on the totem pole, as we say here in America. Hopefully you'll catch that reference. We're referring to Native Americans and our belief that they believed that they would build totem poles with one character at the bottom and each different character as it moves up.
Layers, yeah.
Yes. So they are at the first layer. Yasmina is telling me to be confident. Yeah, that's because she's in the room with execs. She is a bigwig. She is a woman with power. I'm just starting out. I'm just happy to have this job. Yasmina, could you help that person who doesn't have the status, which will help their confidence in speaking up because they don't have the status? I am desperately clinging to my position. I'm just trying to keep my head down, but I do see things and it's not fair. What would you say to them?
Oh my gosh, give me goosebumps, to be honest. It's so good question. And I did a roundtable for women intake in London in last October, and there were different women in the room, and we were four women sharing our experience, and I had one woman asking me that question. She was young. Yes, she was young, and she was saying, "Well, I just started my new job.
Yes.
Well, I don't see myself speaking to my manager or manager about what you are saying. You know, I don't. How do? I can't, because I just started, and then I'm young, and which was also a fair point, as you just said as well. And my answer will be the same. You need to stay who you are. Yeah. You need to think about not, and by the way, I don't like to say people are below me. No one is below me.
Understand.
And no one is below into anyone. Yeah. Anyone. We are all human. Again, put the people at their place. They are human before being the role.
Yes.
And really, it's something. Okay. Well. Okay. I give you the. All right, all the listeners. This is a very intimate story, but where does this idea coming from?
Okay.
When I was little, I was in love of I was maybe 10 or 10, 11, and I was in a summer camp just for 10 days. There was this guy that was 18. For me, it was like, oh my gosh, an adult, right? This is 18. You know, I was like, oh my gosh, he's so handsome. I love him. And I was talking to it's not the people that are mentored. I mean, that are with us, you know, and mentored us, and you know, yeah, not took care of us, but yeah, took care of us.
Yeah.
And I was saying, and there was a ball that day, and it was the evening, and I said, "Oh my gosh, I love him. I want to dance with him." And there was the slow, you know, the music, the slow. And I said, "Oh, but I'm afraid. I don't know what." And you know what she told me? She said, "Look, when you see him, imagine him on the toilets."
Wait a minute.
Sorry for listeners, but it's so true. I mean, she told me that. She told me, you see, imagine it like this. And you see, you will be able to dance with him, because he's just going in the toilet as you are.
Mm-hmm.
I was 11. And I think that this is what remains in my mind. So when I was saying, imagine people in their role, so don't focus on their role, because the same person will need to eat, to sleep, to drink, will be after the work, will be that in that position. It's just putting people at their place. We are all human. So that's the first step. The second step is, well, yeah, you just joined the company. You can't go and check the system like this, you know, well, it's a bit, well. So what do you do? I think that the more authentic you are, the better it is, and the most you will have respect for who you are and for what your ideas. So if you see something that is not correct or you don't like, you can don't be afraid to speak with your manager about it. Not in a complaining way.
Yeah.
Don't complain. Don't be angry. Don't be, too emotional.
Yes.
Try to remain factual. And just said, like, look, for instance, well, I've seen that thing, I'm not here in the company for a long time, but I just, noticed that in a meeting, this person look at at a different behavior, because maybe I was thinking maybe it's due because she's a woman, because I've seen this same person, the same behavior, different meetings. But what do you think about it?
Mm-hmm.
You see, you are not complaining. You are not pointing fingers.
Yes.
You are just opening a conversation.
Yeah.
And first of all, you'll see how your manager or the person above you, if I can say, will react. And then it's also for you a way to start to understand what is the mindset of your boss, I would say. And
Yeah.
if you will be able to speak with him openly, or if you will be able to not say anything, or, and maybe if you see that this person is, oh no, you know what, oh, I have so many things to do, it's wrong, and the person just move on. So you, first of all, for you, it's going to be good because you understand who's your boss, what kind of personality this boss has, and then you just need to find ally, other colleagues, that you can talk to, and when maybe these other allies have respect from their boss, from the boss, because they're longer in the company, and so this is the way you can put a seed in people's mind, and also you became more confident in the new company and your new position.
I say this a lot on the radio, my local radio station. There are complainers, but there are doers, and the doers, you know what they do? They organize. And I gathered that from what you just said, because if I am the first layer person new to the company, there may be others like me that maybe have noticed, maybe they haven't, but I can help them to notice. And then we could go to the manager. So if we organize,
exactly,
is that still along the lines of what you're saying? Because it allows another person to say, oh yeah, I see that now. I never noticed, or I never felt comfortable enough to speak on it. But since you brought it up, heck yeah, I see it.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's
okay. And then the other part I see for that first layer person, to give them confidence. And I was wondering if you agree, or like to get your opinion on it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm just the observational type. Maybe I'm the first person to notice this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the people above me in other layers, not above me, maybe people in other layers never noticed it before. We're all different, Yasmina, and that's my gift. I noticed this. That's what makes me different. In all of the world, I'm the first person that's noticed this in this company's 82-year existence. And now I get to this is where I make my mark. This is the opportunity to correct a behavior, to change the culture. Because I believe we're speaking cultural. In some corporations, in some organizations, we're talking culture. And that culture needs a shock to the system.
Oh, it's great. I mean, I 100% agree with you. It's so true. That's I think, it's very interesting because I have a radio story that had just happened basically the last couple of hours.
Wow.
Really, yes, with work, and because I had to work late yesterday night, and I had some discussion with my boss. Layer above, my above layer, would say.
Yes.
Yes. But because I had very transparent conversation and stuff, and he was telling me something about, if you want to progress, you need to make things looking easier. Because if people see that what you're doing looks easier, then they will be keen on giving you more responsibilities, and this is how you can progress.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, I disagree.
No.
What is the link between progress and make things look easier?
Yeah.
Does actually progress and become a leader mean that you speak up and you're not afraid to not follow what the mass or the standard are saying? So
Yes.
because you need to look, things needs to look easy so you can progress. Does it mean that actually, if you, the more you go up in your career, or the more responsibility you have, does it not mean as well that you're not afraid to speak up and make things change? And because there is this system, actually, that's not because there is a system and everyone follow it, it doesn't mean that it's right. And this is not actually this is real progress. Is because you know that actually you see that what is going on is the common, I would say, if you want to progress, you need to do that, so you progress. Well, fine, but what if I disagree with this? What if actually I feel and I truly believe that it's wrong, but because I want to progress, I need to fit the system. As you said earlier, you need to be silent and don't say anything. I don't want to progress like this.
Yeah.
No, I want to progress from who I am, and because of the skill I'm doing, and saying and say things as they are, doesn't mean that you can't do them. It doesn't mean that actually you're not able to deal with different things because it doesn't look easy.
Yeah.
No. It's just like, okay, this is how it is.
Yeah.
It's not easy for those reasons, factual always. These reasons, those reasons, the reasons. Well, what do you think about it? It doesn't mean that doesn't mean that it's wrong or it's right. It's just like that's the truth. That's it.
Yes.
What is the link with my progress? There is no link here.
No.
There's no link here. I mean, yeah, well, I'm working every day until 10 a.m., 10 p.m. because I had to work. Well,
Yeah.
what? Okay, fine. Yes, it means that you are a lot of works, and okay, fine. But what is the link with my progression? I'm dealing with this actually. Yeah, I'm tired. Yes, indeed. How can we do if I'm doing like this, other people are doing, may do the same, but they won't speak up.
If for no other reason, what it shows us is that you have a resolve about you, and that you are completing the task, however long it may take. And I feel like the energy that we see from you, whether it's hard or easy, let's say it looks hard, but I like what I'm seeing. I like that you are not a quitter, that you're working hard at it, that you are focused. Those are all the skill sets I would want to have in a person that we're going to send to another layer.
Exactly.
So yeah, I like your response. I get that, because that's a lot of that was what I was thinking when you were saying that, is that if for no other reason, you still need to progress, because once you get to another layer, maybe you can come back and change the person that's at that moment when we realize they're working too hard.
Exactly.
We shouldn't have them work until 10. There should be other ways. Maybe there's different tools that they could be having that could allow them to be done earlier. Or also, why can't we just step back and realize that's a very integral position? And yeah, they may not be able to take on a lot of other stuff, but while they're in it, their performance in that position, it spoke volumes. It's a key position. We may have to go back and look at that position in a different light.
Exactly.
Because of you.
But I'm sorry, please. Sorry, I'm interrupting.
No. I was completing that thought. I was going on to another question, but I like that you had something more.
Yes, because just about because if we try to understand as well the point of view of why did the person say that. Yeah. So, and I think it's a good point as well for listeners is when you try to understand why people think like this. Okay.
Yes.
Because if you try to understand why people think like this, you put yourself in their shoes, and you can, just also for yourself open your mind.
Yes.
So the idea behind that is, okay, if you go in another layer, And if you want to go to another layer, people see that you're already overwhelmed with the layer you are in. So why, if you go in other layer, you're going to have more work to do. So, well, that's why it's gonna slow your progression. Maybe you don't even progress. This is the mindset behind, which can be a fair point. I can understand behind, right?
Yes.
It's understandable. It's okay, fine. But I don't, and as you just said, I mean, it shouldn't. It's also a way to see, well, this is what is happening, because also the other thing that people don't say is when they are a layer above, they are working very hard as well. They are doing like extra hours. They just don't say it.
Yeah.
So you make things, looking easy. No, no, that's not the truth.
Yeah.
That's not the truth. It doesn't mean you need to shout at everyone. I'm working every night. I don't sleep. I don't have weekends and blah 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 blah. You don't say. I'm not saying this at all. I'm just saying that actually, if you speak up to say what is going on, what's the truth, well, it's the reality. We need to face the reality, right? What's the link with your progression? There is no progress. There is no link. There is no link. You can progress.
As a manager in a bunch of different positions, in a bunch of different organizations, I would always tell that person that's at that initial layer, document everything. I need to know everything. I need to know all of the supplies, all the tools that you're using. I need to know to every hour that you're working. Don't give me anything free. Don't give me free overtime. If you need overtime to complete a task, let me know that. And I would express to them, do you want to know why I need to know just how hard? Because I don't do this job, you do it. Do you want to know why I need to know that? Because that's what I do at my layer. I make the decision and realize, okay, I had no idea this is a 2-person job, or I need to get you different tools that will allow you to be more efficient. Maybe I've always been comfortable because I have a budget that I have to use.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
And I bought you the middling tool to save money. But if I can get for one initial cost the best software with all of the applications that you could use, that would make you faster. It would lower the overtime because that overtime is an ongoing cost.
Exactly.
And in the long run, that would come out twice the cost of the initial investment of a better tool for you. When we want to replace you after you progress, maybe now we realize, oh, that was a 2-person job, or maybe we need to bring in a temp, as we call them here in America, or a part-time worker that would come in and assist you, because there are those people out there. Buddy of mine's looking for a job, and the first thing he said is he's looking for a flexible job.
It's true.
And that may be his opportunity, that he could come in and work part-time, be a consultant, just participate at a not as a all-in piece, but as an auxiliary piece. But I will never know that if you're covering everything up.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't. But I have a question for you then. So let's say, yes, you see that with your person that is, the layer, the layer below you. But if the person say that, do you think that you can say, well, actually, maybe this person doesn't know how to organize his time? Maybe they just is not good in his job?
Yes.
What is your point? What is your point of view on this?
Well, I always took my military background, and in the military we do this thing. It's a monthly counseling. When you're doing it right, there's monthly counseling. It's not having too much communication. It's a scheduled communication, and it allows us to have a go back. I can look at their performance. It forces me that over the month I have to come out of my office and go to the work site and see them in the performance of their duties. So that will either increase my knowledge on their situation, and I could say, huh, I didn't know they had to do that. I didn't know that he had to carry that bucket of water from all the way over there, all the way over there. I got to get him a cart.
Yeah.
So it allows me to keep my ear to the street, my ear
to the ground, to the reality,
to hear what is actually going on with those footsteps of them. And then it also allows that, as remember I said communication in that counseling, that gives them a chance to voice some concerns. The more we communicate, perhaps the sooner I could recognize where there are deficiencies, and then I can fix them. And a lot of organizations, I brought that to them and they didn't get it. Now, they weren't in the military, but that's something that we do. And I can tell you, there are some people that were in the military who hated it. They hated counseling people that were not on their layer, and some hated being counseled by people that were in a higher layer than them. So, but I saw the benefits of it, and that little administrative piece, I thought was just better communication, and it allowed us to be more efficient as a team.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, it's interesting. And so you go into the ground, let's say, to see what is going on, frequently, I would say. And what if you actually, because you go in the layer above, you to go in this layer, you've been in the layer below, so you just step one layer after the other one. Yeah. So it means that you already knew. I mean, you lived, let's say, even if it's a few years ago or years ago, what you did in that layer. So therefore you can say, well, I already know what they are doing. Is it something, do you still want to see what is going on in the layer, or do you say, well, in any way, I know what it is because I've been in this layer before, and therefore I don't understand why he's doing this because I was able to do it properly. When I was in this layer, right?
That's the key point. Whether you've been there or not, you're not there now. They are. And here's the other reason, Yasmina. It's a morale boost for them. Because now they know that you see them.
Exactly.
You could come down there. If you roll up your sleeves, you don't have to. You can just observe them. But if you roll up your sleeves, they can see that sweat on your brow. And you learn things, because all things are not what they once were. There's this thing called evolution. There are changes. There are patches. I know you're in the IT field. There are software updates. And so things may not connect as they used to. And there are challenges. We realize, oh, wow, we've got to update this item because we're constantly updating and making changes to this. And maybe they don't fit together as they once did. Or there are challenges that, in my day, I don't remember that. In order to receive a part, you had to go through this many steps to order it. It wasn't that hard before. We used to just call Jan, and Jan used to order stuff. But I see now you've got to look it up. You've got to see where it's coming from. You have cost constraints so you would love to have this next day air, but Donato and his budget doesn't allow that. He's already told you this week you've ordered 3 things priority, and it's got to come standard mail. It's got to come slower. That's the stuff you see. And even if none of that changes, they now see me. And I see now, I like that he saw my struggle, because I felt like he never really knew what goes on here. I know, like, back in his day how they did it, but this is how we do it in 2023. So I think of it, I also always thought it was a morale booster for them. And I am big on, I said this before, on culture. You have built the culture where they feel that you're approachable, that you did roll up your sleeves. The joke was, oh, Donato's taking off his cufflinks. That was always the joke. And these guys, these blue collars, we call them here in America, these blue collar workers, they would always make fun of me because of how I dressed, because I was in a 3-piece suit. But that was them saying, and I liked that they could say that. That means they know they have a moment. So much so, they have the joke. And the joke is, the cufflinks come off.
Yes,
so it's scheduled. They know, here he comes.
Here he comes, yes. No, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's very, Yeah, I totally agree with you. Actually, it's very, very good to do that because it shows to your teams that actually, well, you're close to them. So it means also for yourself, you need to free up some time in your agenda, and that's
Yes.
also this, because sometimes it's also difficult to free up time.
Yes.
And yeah, it means that you also need to juggle between. I mean, try to understand what you do, because you have your work to do in your layer, level, but you also need to find time to be close to your team.
You got to feel it. You got to put your toes in the sand. That was a island reference there for you.
Yes.
I feel like there are opportunities for you and that person. At my layer, I could get off at 5 p.m. But they're working until 10. Oh, come on. Once a month, I couldn't work till 10. And some of those days when I was doing things with them, I knew that I had to sacrifice because there's something I can be doing right now. But nope. I have to do this monthly counseling. I'm either a day early or a day late, but I got to get in there. I got to do that with them. Okay, I guess I'm staying late. What? Is it the end of the world? Because look at my overtime budget. Clearly, my team has to stay late. They have been staying late. They're doing things late. Okay, I'm going to have a late day. And so I need to see that. And I'll tell you one other little item. When you hear that your people, their childcare stories, you learn so much about, wait, who's taking care of your dog? Even if they don't have children. Wait, I have a dog sitter that comes over, and they're going to do that because the dog's been in there 8 days, and now I'm working late. And I have a backup dog walker because that person couldn't go today, and I'm still here at work, and someone's got to get there. You may never get that.
Yeah, you may never get that. Yeah.
Just learn something about your person. So when the office party comes around, when the holidays get here, I know what to get you. One, I'm going to find you a backup to the backup to the backup.
Yes.
But maybe I could get you a nice shiny collar because I know what's important to you in your life. Because they're not going to, when we're talking business, they're not talking to you about their dog.
No.
They're not bringing that up. But taking off the cufflinks, I learned a lot.
And no, it's great. But what if you are also working until 10 or even 11? So therefore you say, well, your level, well, I'm doing even worse. I'm even working over the weekend. Don't complain because I don't complain. Will you have this mindset? Yeah.
So we were a centralized, at one institution, we were centralized so that my office was at the hub. These gentlemen would project themselves out, accomplish tasks, and then come back. Quite often they would come back and no one's there. They're always there by themselves because it's a later day. Sometimes when they see you in there and you're still working, or you come back with them, again, you learn so much. Like I just realized by being out on this route with you, you didn't even eat dinner. Oh, well, Donato, I don't have time. I don't have time to. What? Come on, guy. You've had a couple. I literally had a guy that had 3 heart attacks all on the job. He'd been working there since 1969. And you're not supposed to be skipping meals, guy. You're supposed to. Well, I got to get this work done, and oh my gosh, that's the kind you learn so much. If anything, it only gave me more of an appreciation for him and what he did. But I can't be thinking of just myself and the hurt that I'm going to be in. I have to put that to the side or delay it, if you will. I have to have, and the more people that you're in charge of, you could rotate it. You're not always going out with the same person. They're going to be in different stations. Someone knows today, Donato's going out with somebody. He's going to be with someone
that's
today.
Right.
Yeah. And then even still, I had a company card. So while I was on location with these guys, I don't skip meals. So we're definitely going to stop and get some lunch. And by the way, I'm buying.
Which is fine. I'm on champagne today.
Morale booster for them. Just another morale boost. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. No, thank you. Sorry, I now interviewing you. Sorry.
No, it's a give world. I'm not a taker. I like to give, and if the opportunity is there, sure. You got to give some to get some. I believe in that.
Exactly. Both ways, all the time.
I would like to have two last questions. We are over the time I told you. We even had some lead in that was off air. So this has been amazing. I think you and I both know, to your detriment, but to my compliment, we are going to meet again. We're going to have to do this again.
To our compliment, too, definitely, yes.
So she will be avoiding me, everyone. There will be a lot of empty messages. There will be an unrequited
of course.
Message link. What are the goals that you have still yet to achieve in this messaging, in having these conversations? What could you use as your moment going forward in this realm?
Good question. There's always many things to accomplish, right? It never ends. I think what I really want to do is keep talking with people like you, which means that, because sharing my experience, I'll also get your experience, which also for me a way to grow and understand more what are the different point of view people can have in the same field that I'm in. So in the diversity, inclusion, even in the tech industry or whatever, it's on all these topics, I would say, all this wide topic, because diversity is not only ethnicity. There are different kind of diversity, and we didn't go through the other kind of diversity I have, but I know it's obvious that yes, and I'm black, and I'm also a foreigner, I'm French. It's obvious, but there are also other things for myself that are, or from also we can put it in other kind of diversity.
Yes.
But not visible, right?
Yeah.
So what I would definitely want to keep doing is share, talk, and listen. Because I need to grow as well. And my experience is not an end. It's still every day is an experience. Our conversation now is already make me grow and think about, that's why I was asking you questions, because I want to understand also your perception, especially for another industry. Army is always very interesting to understand, and how is diversity or stereotypes are made in that domain, right?
Yeah.
So I really wish to continue and develop and even increase the chance I have to share and speak, but also to meet different people and challenge. I like to be challenged. I like to challenge. I like to shake the system. But I also like people that can also, we can debate together.
Understood.
So this is what I really want to do. It's keep doing this and meet other people. And also each time, I'm going through a difficult situation, difficult challenge, I always say to myself, actually, oh my gosh, that's a pain. But when I'm going to share it, it's going to inspire someone or help someone, well, it's fine then to get the pain. At least it's fine. It can help someone else.
Yeah. The last question, how would your peers describe you?
What a great question. You make me laugh. So for the listeners, when Donato asked me the question, I just shake my head in the front and then get back. So just for the listeners, so you understand, right? Yeah. Well, I think you already get it, right? So I'm extrovert. They would definitely say that I'm not afraid to say things.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm not patient. That's the thing that maybe you don't see, but that's the thing. I'm impatient. I like things to be done. So if, for instance, we are saying something, I'm not procrastinated. No. Okay, we need to, I don't know. We're talking about topic, and it means that we need to take a ticket to go there, or we need to buy this. Already, as soon as we finish the discussion, I'm already buying the ticket, or I'm already doing the thing that needs to be done. I'm very reactive, but the others, which is positive, but the side effect is I'm also impatient, and sometimes people need time to reflect.
Yes.
And for me, sometimes it's slow, and I want some. If I do something because I give all my energy, all my strength, all myself, I'm expecting the outcome to come right away. But actually, the outcome doesn't arrive as fast as I would like to, and sometimes the outcome doesn't arrive because this is the way life it is. So I'm definitely impatient, and this is what I hear a lot of times with my peers, family based and friends. It's like, definitely I'm not afraid. I lost my mother when I was 20. And yeah, it's been all and she was telling me that before she passed away from a cancer, bless her, it's, I'm not worried if I leave, because I know I'm going to leave. I'm not worried because I know that each time you will fail, you will fall down, you will rise again. She's not afraid because she knows me. She knows that I'm like, and it gives me goosebumps just saying this, because it comes from my mom, last words of my mom. And this is still sense words that I'm still listening here. Because I have the courage, because I'm not afraid, because I'm not afraid to shake the system.
Yes.
This is why I'm here today, and I've been through difficult things, but I'm still able to talk to you, to share my experience and laugh, even when sometimes you want to cry.
Yasmina, I want to appreciate your time today. I am just floored with the amount of topics that you have thrown into my head. I already see 4 other podcasts I could do with you. You know, you and I talked off air before. For our listeners, I needed to hit the record button before, which would have been infringing on her privacy, because we had a pre-show meeting, but it was juicy. And the stuff that I was getting out of that, I was like, oh my gosh, this is good stuff. And then during our talk, and to your point, I could get specific. I would love to get specific on some items for the military here in America, because I am still connected, and I could project this to them that they could allow to filter out in their different pockets. So I love what we did here today. So thank you for your time, and for all the listeners. How could our listeners follow you? You wrote a book. How could they stay in touch and learn more from you?
But thank you so much. First of all, you love this discussion. I love it as well. I've been even more than yourself. J'ai adoré. I loved it. In
Thank
French.
you.
So I'm not a Instagram, Facebook. I'm especially on LinkedIn. So YASMINA PASSERI is definitely my LinkedIn, and you're going to see my posts and still seeing what I'm doing. And also, I have, as you said rightly, I'm a book author. I wrote a book, Lantana's Secrets for Beautiful Hair, to help women from mixed race, but also diverse background, to take care of their hair. But more than that, to embrace this diverse part of themselves, which is totally beyond hair, but about your inner self.
Yeah.
And I have a website for that, and it's lantanasecrets.com. So you will see it as well in my LinkedIn. So YASMINA Passery is my LinkedIn, and lantanasecret.com is my website.
Wow. I know I have to end it. I don't want to end it, but that means I liked it. Yasmina, have a great rest of the day. And the next time we talk, I think you should talk to us about some of the stereotypes that Europeans have about us in the good old US of A.
It's going to be
Because
the
we
next
get a little
audition.
bit of that off air, and I think our listeners would love it. Since you endured my stereotypical American insights that we believe to be true. But
Yeah, no,
thank
that's
you, though.
great.
Thank you very much. Have a great rest of the day.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Donato, and to all listeners. I think Donato is just great, to be honest. I've done other podcasts, and I really like the way you drive the interview, but also your background and experience. So for all listeners, please share this podcast, share Donato's page and everything, because you deserve to be viral. You deserve to be viral. And thank you for all the listeners that are supporting you. And I will be happy to contribute to your growth, because you deserve it, and you have so much to share, and we make people grow. So please, we'll do everything, listeners, with myself, with me. Join me. Let's boost Donato and make Donato viral.
Thank you.
Viral.
Thank you. Well, thank you. And these are the conversations I love to have. We'll talk to you later.
Talk to you later.